Good evening. Calling to order the April 1st, 2014 City Council meeting. Mayor Tom Girani presiding. Leading us in prayer is Father Chris Grohl from St. Mary Magdalene.
Let us pray. Almighty God, you generously bestow your gifts to us in abundance each day. We are grateful for all that you continue to do for us and for the many favors that you grant. As we come together in your name tonight, come to us and enlighten us. May everything that is done this evening be done with your inspiration and with your wisdom. God of wisdom and justice, through you all authority is rightly administered. Laws are enacted and judgments are decreed. Guide and support our mayor, members of our city council, city manager, and our city staff. Give them the ability to know your will so that all decisions may be pleasing to you. May their work be conducted with righteousness, and may they always promote what is for the good and welfare of all of the citizens of Joliet. We likewise commend to your care all of the people of our city, that they too may be blessed and sanctified. Together may we work for the betterment of our community and enjoy the blessings promised to those who remain faithful to you. And in a special way this evening, we ask your blessings, Lord, upon Lou Pela, former councilman, and for his family who mourns his loss. May you continue to give them your strength during this time of mourning, and give Lou your blessings with the gift of life everlasting. For we pray to you, our Lord and God, now and forever. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Start with roll call. Mayor Girani.
Here.
Councilman Burrow.
Here.
Councilman Hug.
Here.
Councilman McFarland.
Here?
Councilman Morris.
Here.
Councilman Odekirk.
Here.
Councilwoman Coleman. Here. Councilman Turk.
Here.
Next is the approval of the agenda. Is there a motion to approve the agenda as amended, withdrawing 156, 135, and 161-14?
So moved. Second. Questions? Kristen?
Motion and seconded to approve. Councilman Burrow.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilman McFarland.
Aye.
Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Councilman Odekirk.
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman.
Aye.
Councilman Turk.
Aye.
Mayor Girani.
Aye.
Motion carried. Next, council committee reports. Public Safety Committee report.
Your Honor, we had a Public Safety Committee meeting yesterday. Myself, Councilman Girl, and Councilman Morris were all present. We discussed several issues with the fire department. One is a request for, I'm not sure the terminology, but it was the
Turnout gear?
the turnout gear, right. And we're approving that. And there also was a request for, I believe, communication issue that was coming up.
All right, self-contained breathing apparatus tanks.
That's correct. Chief, could
Yeah.
you elaborate on that, please?
Yes, last night we spoke about, we talked about the purchase of the 27 sets of fire gear. That'll be on the agenda for tonight. And then we made the council, the public safety, aware that we received $15,803 in a grant from the Office of the State Fire Marshal, and that money will be used to purchase 30 self-contained breathing apparatus bottles this year. These bottles have a 15-year lifespan, and for the last few years, we've been having to replace bottles as they come up for end of life. So this year's grant from the Office of the State Fire Marshal will help us replace 30 cylinders this year. Did you want me to elaborate on the other couple items too?
If you could, on the other
Sure.
grant.
And then we wanted to make the board also aware that this year, the fire department put in for, we have the ability to submit for assistance to firefighters grant money through the Department of Homeland Security. And this year, we put in to try to complete the Opticom system within the city of Joliet. The Opticoms are the vehicle preemption lights that come on. You'll see them on the intersections, the busy intersections. When they turn white, that means that the fire vehicle has the intersection, and the opposite lanes would turn red, and we would get the green light. What we did was each intersection costs about $12,500 to do. We've started this project back in 2001, putting Opticoms throughout the city. It's about 87% complete right now. We have 15 major intersections that are left to do. So we're asking for some assistance from the federal government in the amount of $150,000 in grant money, and then we, the city, would have to come up with $37,500 in matching funds to finish out the project. So that's the grant that we've submitted for. We haven't gotten approval on it yet. It's still in the evaluation phase. So we're waiting to hear back on that.
Thank you, Chief. And then the one final issue, we voted to extend the firefighter eligibility list. The current list, we haven't taken anyone off of, and I believe the savings for a new list would be over $100,000 if we had it conducted. That's the end of the committee report.
Thank you. Krista?
Public Service Committee report.
Your Honor, the Public Service Committee comprised of Councilman McFarland and myself met yesterday afternoon at 4:30 in the City Hall Executive Conference Room to review the contracts, change orders, pay estimate, and final payments. We did do a couple of items we changed. We tabled Council Member 15614, which is the professional services agreement for water supply maintenance for 2014. We tabled that for 2 weeks for further review. And also on the deteriorated roadway resurfacing program, staff mentioned number 10 on the list, Black Road from the hiking trail, which is right there by Carlson Funeral Home, east of Palladium Drive. They may shorten that up a little bit. It might not go all the way to Palladium because of some utility work that may have to be done between Palladium and Springfield, and there somewhere, or not Springfield, but Madison. So they'll take it as far as they can, but they'll know more about the utility work. They don't want to do the road, then have to tear it up with utility work. So if these bids come in at a good price and below engineer's estimate, there'll be a second round of resurfacing around August.
Thank you. Baseball committee, I see Josh Schaub out here from the Slammers. Probably in 10 days or so, whenever we can get it all together, we'll have a meeting with the Slammers to discuss concessions, ticket prices, et cetera, since we can get a date together. Okay? Krista?
I show no other reports. Consent agenda is next. Approval of minutes. It's recommended the minutes of the pre-council meeting held on March 17th and the regular meeting held on March 18th, 2014, stand approved as recorded. Council Memo 142-14, regular payroll for February 21st through March 7th, 2014, $3,041,645.91. It's recommended said regular payroll be approved. Council Memo 143-14, 2014 deteriorated roadway resurfacing program. It's recommended this program be approved. Council Memo 144-14, position vacancies. It's recommended the city manager be authorized to fill an information services manager position and a finance director position, both with subsequent vacancies. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda items?
So moved.
Second.
Questions? Krista?
The motion and seconded to approve. Councilman Hug?
Aye.
Councilman McFarland?
Aye.
Councilman Morris?
Aye.
Councilman Otterkirk?
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman?
Aye.
Councilman Turk?
Aye.
Councilman Girl?
Aye.
Mayor Durrani?
Aye.
Motion carried. Next, under public hearings, Council Memo 146-14, a public hearing and approval of ordinance authorizing the use of eminent domain and quick take powers to acquire 126 through 148 St. Louis Street for the Joliet Multimodal Transportation Project. It is recommended said ordinance be approved.
Jim, you want to give a brief?
Certainly, Mayor. As you know, we reviewed this last night. The city is building the multimodal transportation project, and this includes the widening and realignment of St. Louis Street. It also includes creating a water detention area for the parking lots and the bus area where the driveway and parking area for the buses will be located. Part of that project includes the need for a warehouse that's owned by Ace Iron and Metal Company. And we'd been working with that company for over 18 months. We're sympathetic to the fact that they would have to locate a portion of their business to another section of town. And in trying to keep them located in town, we had a piece of property that we thought was going to go through, and we made an offer in accordance with the cost of that new property, and that deal fell through. At this point, we have found another vacant piece of property that is 4 times larger than their current location. It has access to rail. They have a proposal, a purchase proposal for that property, which has been accepted. They haven't closed on the property at this point. We had 2 offers. One was for just the piece of property, the warehouse area that we need, based on the estimate that we had, the appraisal price. And the other was including that site along with some other properties, some property swapping and more cash. Both of those, our proposals were refused. The counter proposals were in excess of $1 million to $2 million accordingly. We are running out of time, and we need this, this lot. So we need to press forward with a quick take, which means that we get use of the property. We would have to relocate everything in that site, and then we could go ahead and use the property, but there would be a secondary legal hearing whereby the value of the property would be argued in court and then determined. We will continue to negotiate right up to the point of filing, or right up to the point of a hearing date in the court on the quick taking with the property owner, and we will continue to listen to reasonable offers and come back to you with those offers to see if we can settle it prior to an actual court date.
This was all in, this is in the budget?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
This is included in the project budget.
Is there any comments up here?
Just go ahead. One question, Your Honor.
Wait a
Oh,
minute,
go ahead.
John had his.
Yeah, I just want to thank Mayor Girani and City Manager Hawk for that explanation. I know that oftentimes when we discuss quick take, it gets people a little nervous, especially, you know, business people, you know, and, but I think Mr. Hawk gave a great explanation of, you know, basically, you know, we're dealing with the landowner fairly. We've been trying to negotiate a purchase price, Mr. Hawk, for at least a year, maybe?
Almost a year and a half.
Almost a year and a half, and we're certainly going to continue to deal with him in good faith, but unfortunately, you know, sometimes that doesn't work out, and we have to exercise our, you know, really the authority that's given to us by state statute, which is quick take. So, you know, for the public benefit, and it's an integral parcel to make our multimodal a success in downtown Joliet. So I just want to thank you for that explanation. So.
Jim?
Just, Jim, what does this do to the overall timeline of the completion of the transportation center? Does this delay it at all? Just, you know, we were hoping that they would work with us with the legal proceedings and whatnot. Does this delay the entire project at all?
Well, we still can potentially manage or rearrange the priorities of the project if we need to. Kind of depends on this scheduling and how fast we can get this property, get it demolished and ready for that detention site. If we can't, we'll eventually need it no matter what, for the widening of the street and completion of the overall project. We may be able to look at some other engineering alternatives in the meantime if we can't get it in a timely fashion, but after 18 months, we haven't been able to come to any conclusion. There's really no reason to wait on not moving forward in terms of acquiring the project, because eventually we're going to need it.
Thank you.
Just along the same lines, I got both parties together last week, and we tried to sit down and work this out to no avail. So hopefully to head off what we're going to have to go through, but we couldn't get an agreement. So, Mike, you
Your Honor, my question was similar to Jim's. Typically, how long is the quick take process last? Relatively quick, or is it?
The idea of quick take is to give a unit of government, whether it be IDOT in a highway project or the city of Joliet when it's undertaking a project like this within an enterprise zone, the legal mechanism to get possession of the property as soon as justice will allow. And what that means is the flexibility or uncertainty in time will be based on how long it will take a judge to have an opportunity to hear both parties' opinion as to what the value of the property is, the preliminary value of property. I would expect that process to be no more than 3 or 4 months, but I can't make that guarantee. It depends on the judge's calendar and legal issues raised by ownership. That's my best guess today.
Thank you.
anything else? This is a public hearing. Does anybody in the audience want to address this subject? Seeing none?
Is there a motion to approve the ordinance?
So moved.
Second?
Motion and seconded to approve. Councilman McFarland?
Aye.
Councilman Morris?
Aye.
Councilman Otterkirk?
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman?
Aye.
Councilman Turk?
Aye.
Councilman Girl?
Aye.
Councilman Hug?
Aye.
Mayor Durrani?
Aye.
Motion carried. Under ordinances and resolutions, under resolutions, Council Memo 148-14, a resolution appropriating funds for the soil erosion and sediment control application for the Phase 1 engineering for the Garnsey Avenue over Spring Creek Improvement Project. It is recommended said resolution be adopted.
So moved.
Second?
Questions? Krista?
Been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Morris?
Aye.
Councilman Otterkirk?
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman?
Aye.
Councilman Turk?
Aye.
Councilman Girl?
Aye.
Councilman Hug?
Aye.
Councilman McFarland?
Aye.
Mayor Durrani?
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo 149-14, a resolution authorizing the purchase of 251 North Joliet and 103 West Webster for downtown parking. It is recommended said resolution be adopted.
So moved.
Second?
Questions? Krista?
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Otterkirk?
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman?
Aye.
Councilman Turk?
Aye.
Councilman Girl?
Aye.
Councilman Hug?
Aye.
Councilman McFarland?
Aye.
Councilman Morris?
Aye.
Mayor Durrani?
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo 150-14, a resolution approving an agreement with Wisconsin Central Railway concerning Briggs Street sanitary sewer improvements. It is recommended said resolution be adopted.
So moved.
Second?
Questions?
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilwoman Coleman?
Aye.
Councilman Turk?
Aye.
Councilman Girl?
Aye.
Councilman Hug?
Aye.
Councilman McFarland?
Aye.
Councilman Morris?
Aye.
Councilman Otterkirk?
Aye.
Mayor Durrani?
Aye, just for the benefit of the students out here, this was all discussed yesterday in pre-council. We're not just running through this. Okay. Krista?
Motion carried. Council Memo 151-14, a resolution approving a temporary platform agreement with the Union Pacific Railroad and BNSF Railway Company. It is recommended said resolution be adopted.
So moved.
Second?
Questions?
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Turk?
Aye.
Councilman Girl?
Aye.
Councilman Hug?
Aye.
Councilman McFarland?
Aye.
Councilman Morris?
Aye.
Councilman Otterkirk?
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman?
Aye.
Mayor Durrani?
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo 152-14, a resolution authorizing certain employees of the City of Joliet to sign checks, vouchers, and warrants on behalf of the City of Joliet, designating financial institutions to be used as depositories for city's funds. It is recommended said resolution be adopted.
Motion?
So moved.
Second.
Questions? Krista?
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Girl?
Aye.
Councilman Hug?
Aye.
Councilman McFarland?
Aye.
Councilman Morris?
Aye.
Councilman Otterkirk?
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman?
Aye.
Councilman Turk?
Aye.
Mayor Durrani?
Aye.
Motion carried. Under bids and contracts, award of contracts. Council Memo 154-14, award of professional services contract for the surveying and drafting services for the Illinois Route 171 Street Lighting Improvements Project. Council Memo 155-14, purchase firefighter turnout gear. Council Memo 156-14 was pulled. Council Memo 135-14 was pulled and replaced with Council Memo 158-14. Council Memo 157-14, request for authorization to purchase accessories for police vehicles. Council Memo 158-14, request for funding the resynchronization and implementation of the ADP payroll system. It is recommended Council Memos 154 through 155-14 and 157 through 158-14 be approved.
So moved.
Second?
Any questions? Krista?
Been motion and seconded to approve. Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilman McFarland.
Aye.
Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Councilman Otterkirk.
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman.
Aye.
Councilman Turk.
Aye.
Councilman Girl.
Aye.
Mayor Durrani.
Aye.
Motion carried. Under amendments, change orders, and payments, Council Memo 160-14, approved change order number 1 and payment requests number 8B and number 9A for the 2013 City of Joliet aggregate contract. Council Memo 161-14 was pulled. It's recommended Council Memo 160-14 be approved.
So moved.
Second?
Questions? Krista?
Motion seconded to approve. Councilman McFarland.
Aye.
Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Councilman Otterkirk.
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman.
Aye.
Councilman Turk.
Aye.
Councilman Girl.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Yes.
Mayor Durrani.
Trying to break it up. Aye.
Motion carried. Next is Mayor Durrani appointments.
I have none this evening.
Before we have new business, I do believe we have a few people here that would like to request to speak.
Whoever, step up and give your name and address, please.
Hi, my name is Leanna Buchanan. I'm at 911 Grand Boulevard. Last October, we started putting in main water lines into our street. To say anything short of a mess, it's crazy. We've been inconvenienced. We've been lied to. And it's caused besides the fact that I can't washing my car every other day, besides the fact of washing my dog twice a day from going out, it's caused a huge safety hazard on our block. There are sinkholes 2 feet deep going up and down our block. My husband has fallen in the backyard in a sinkhole from this. My concern is when I called the contractor, he put it off on you guys. He said that you guys didn't give him permission until the end of the year to start it. You know, I want to know why it wasn't finished then. When I called city engineering, they promised to send somebody out. That was 3 weeks ago. They said they'd cover it up with plywood. The plywood is rotten. It's not going to do any good. I want to know when it's going to get finished. I thank Councilman Morris for coming out today and looking at it. He can tell you how bad it is over there.
I've tried to fix it.
And I would like to know when it's going to get finished and when we're going to see some results.
Jim or Jim, who's going to address this?
This is a utility project. What we're doing in Haldeman Terrace, just to refresh everybody's memory, the water and sanitary sewer is in the backyard. It was constructed 1928, and we've had some major failures on the water system, causing damage to houses and inspection of the sanitary sewer. The sewer's deep, and it's in a failing state right now. So last fall, to get a jump on the project, we came in, and the south half of Haldeman Terrace, 900 block of Grand Boulevard, was part of that. And we're moving the water main from the
Excuse me, Jim, is your microphone on?
It is.
Yes.
Just
Okay.
pull it up a little
Okay.
bit closer.
All right,
There we go.
thank you.
We're moving the water main from the backyards and moving it out to the street. The project was begun in October. We were anticipating getting it done. Contractor had a couple delays, and then we had early winter sent it on us. That didn't allow us to get the restoration done. So the contractor was lined up to come in mid-April. I wasn't aware of anybody having any open complaints out there on the condition. If, you know, I can get the locations and we can go out there and take a look at it. I know the contractor did get a call this week and was out there this afternoon with a couple locations. If there's more out there, we can make sure that the holes are filled in. You know, that's our main concern, is to make sure that the area is safe. But we're looking at mid-April to complete the restoration, concrete repairs.
I can tell you the whole block needs to be done. There are sinkholes at every single house
Right.
that was drilled at.
Right. And what happened on this project, because we moved the water main from the backyards out to the street, we had to put new water services all the way into the houses, so that actually required plumbing all the way up to the meter setting inside the houses. So this is a little bit more of a disturbance to the homes than we would normally see on a water main replacement project. To
Jim,
minimize.
when is it gonna be repaired? I think that's what.
Yes, that's
Oh.
my concern is,
Yes.
because when
Well,
I
we'll-
talked to the.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Address the-
We can get out, we'll get out there this week and, make sure that, anything that's hazardous, we'll come and look at your location and, any of the other areas. We've been holding off the contractor when we've looked at it so far. The ground is still, with the frost just coming out of the ground is still too wet to really do any real heavy work on there. So we're probably looking at another 1 or 2 weeks before we can mobilize to finish up the restoration. But, with this project, we are going to follow up. This was when we had our neighborhood meeting last fall, that this is only the initial phase. We do have to come back, tear up the backyards again, and get in there and work on the sanitary sewers. So our main concern is to make sure everybody's got, reliable, water and sewer in the houses. So
Guesstimate completion date?
we are looking at, with the sewer project, we're going to try to do as much as we can with non-open cut, with putting liners in or doing some other type of sewer rehabilitation program. But, we are looking at construction in that neighborhood through the end of the year this year in 2014.
The end of the what?
End of 2014. So, but, the water main is installed in front of the 900 block. The areas, the street will be restored, the landscaping and the concrete will be replaced. So the areas in the front of the house will be restored this spring. It's the work on the sanitary sewer in the backyard that still has to take place, for your location.
So the street will be done in the spring, but you still gotta go in the yards.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, thank
All
you.
right, you're welcome.
Can I just, one comment?
Sure.
I had the opportunity to drive by there myself today. I think the issue here is that making sure that we have the work that's being done secure and safe until they get back in there. So could we have staff out there tomorrow? to
Yeah,
take
we'll
a
be
look
able
at
to
that?
get out there right away and
You have to block the street off something, that way it's safe, so folks that are walking their dogs, kids walking to school, cars driving, that it's safe and secure, so we don't have any liability, please.
No, I agree. We can do
Thank
that.
you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Yes.
Hi,
Hi.
my name is Kathy Steck, and I live at 915 Grand Boulevard. We're all the neighbors, and I would like to thank each and every one of you for making our city so great. I really appreciate the time and effort that you put in, and we would just like to thank the sewer guys and all that, but you might put some dirt in those holes, because some of them are pretty big, and we just mentioned too that you're liable for that. I'm not.
Thank
All
you.
right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No, we
Anyone
did.
else? Voice.
No, no, he can come.
Okay, Roger?
Yeah. come on.
Roger.
Roger Thompson, 1110 Nicholson Street. Different subject. I'm on the board member of Joliet County Project Pride. We had the pleasure or the privilege of having the city manager there this morning, and he was saying correctly that you guys direct him. He doesn't direct you. But I realize that it's what you guys do is a huge, endeavor to cover all the bases, and everything. And so the idea came up that maybe we could get some ad hoc committees, and they probably would tie in with your committees as well. But as you know, I probably sent you emails about the Alliance, I&M Canal Alliance Congress last Wednesday. One of the things that they mentioned that communities that have bicycling through them bring in millions of dollars to the community, and we have great facilities for bicycling, but there may be a few things missing, like an east-west routes that connect the other routes. Anyway, I don't want to dwell on that one particularly, but if we got the bicycle club to come up with some ideas that, okay, here's what we would like to see. Okay, so that's one thing. So then the other thing is that that came up in that Congress was for tourism, and right here at St. Francis is Dr. Jeffrey something or other teaching classes about how communities are sustained by tourism and how important that is. Okay, so then, but let's go on to some other areas that if we got different groups, historical groups, soccer groups, community areas that people could organize in. Anyway, get different ideas. So then, instead of waiting till the end of the year when the budgets come out, we get this done ahead of time, so that if there are things that could be done and prices and so forth worked out for some of these different ideas, and they could be given priorities, and we could work with the committees, to do some of that, and work back and forth. The other thing that is so important, I believe, is public relations. And I just don't think we're just doing anywhere near the amount of public relations that we need to be doing for tourism, statewide, countywide, federally, globally. We have people here, as you know, come to Route 66, and we need to capitalize on that. But we also need to get our own community, involved in this thing. So, and you guys have said previously that you want the community involved. So we need to find ways to get groups like that, going to help you, because it's just so much, it's a lot of work. How do you possibly know all the things that could really help the community? I mean, you each may know some. But anyway, I'm asking you to think about some of these ideas, direct some of them back to me or Project Pride, or do it yourselves, but coordinate for the city things, the Park District, Will County, Forest Preserve District. Start to get these things working, the Park District of Joliet. Get some of these things going and coordinated, and it doesn't necessarily have to cost a lot of money to get it started. Even like the canal corridor, if we just clean some brush away from the canal and put a little better bike path and out there to create some interest there. Several years ago there was a whole promotion about putting boats out there. There's a name for them, but like they do in LaSalle and other communities around the United States that use the old canal things. This is a hugely wonderful historic community, and we're just not doing anywhere near enough. But anyway, so think about it. I apologize for stumbling and not having it all done just really, clean, but all the more place for you guys to, and ladies.
Thank you.
You're a guy. But involved, because it's the vision that we go forward with that's going to make this community survive, and we thrive, not just survive but thrive. And we have to get that, and we have to work on more than one thing at once, because we have to get that.
I think we got your point.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you for your indulgence.
Okay.
Thanks, Roger.
Thank you. Anybody else like to speak? No? Okay. Krista?
Next is new business, not for final action or recommendation.
Any?
Next is mayor and council comments.
No comments, Your Honor.
No comments. No comments.
This is gonna be April
This
Fool.
could be a record.
It's April Fool.
You wanted to say something before, though.
No, no comment. No, actually, I was going to mention that when I was out on Grand Boulevard, some of the residents had actually planted their own trees, knowing the situation with the ash board. And one of the trees, I guess, was damaged when they were putting the water line in. But I just wanted to point out the fact that the neighbors is really, taking pride in the community, that they actually planted their own trees in the parkway.
Thank you.
A couple of trees, and they were pretty expensive trees, too. So maybe that could be something looked at, too, because one of the trees was damaged and by the contractor. So,
No, thank you, Mayor. I just like to thank Mr. Hawk and city staff. I know you've been working shorthanded, and it gets worse and worse as the months go by, but thank you for the hard work and for settling the labor dispute that was outstanding. So, thank you.
Sure. Jan?
Well, now I have no comment because he stole what I was going to say, so, no comment,
Mike?
Nothing, Your Honor.
but thank you.
I just have one thing. Last evening, comments were made about the crime at Evergreen Terrace, and I know Jan brought up a point. I've asked Chief Benton to maybe comment on that a little bit.
Yes, Mayor. The comments that were made last night were basically about Evergreen Terrace and how the crime there relates to other densely populated housing complexes here in the city. Evergreen does continue to pose a problem for us in terms of crime, but when you're looking at crime, it's important to look at not only the types of crime, but also the time span that you're looking at. I presented a report about a month ago to the council that broke down some of these particular factors by complex, by the Fairview complex, Des Plaines, the Larkin Village apartment complex, Bellarmine, and Evergreen. And basically what we saw throughout that report was that crime spikes, and there's peaks and valleys, and different factors determine that. There's a variety of different issues that we don't claim to know what causes a crime to spike, but we do know that at certain areas throughout the city where there's a dense population, we continue to experience problems.
Thank you. Thank you. To the motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and seconded to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting adjourned.
It's a record.